for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll.
Councilman Poole. Councilman Cotton.
Here.
Councilman Littles. Councilman Watson.
Here.
Councilman Barton.
Here.
Mayor Lovelace.
Here.
We have a sufficient number for a quorum, sir.
Approval of the minutes from the last meeting.
Mayor, I offer a motion to approve the minutes of last meeting.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Watson to approve the minutes from the last meeting, seconded by Councilman Barton. Is there any discussion? Councilman Cotton.
Yes.
Councilman Watson.
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
The motion passes and the minutes are approved.
I'd like to welcome our visitors today. Good to see those we haven't seen in a while here. Approval of the agenda.
Mayor, the council has a copy, and there's a copy of the agenda on the wall for the audience. A couple of changes that I'm aware of that need to be made is we need to add an item under A, call it A1, and that is appoint a board of director member. And we need to add an item J, that is to select DMD engineers for the CE and I work on an A-Trip project. Are there any other changes that need to be made to the agenda?
Mr. House, you said appoint a board.
2 board members.
Members should be 2.
Okay. I know one would be automatic, but it's appropriate to name them both.
Okay.
Any other changes? All those in favor of approving the agenda as amended, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say no. The agenda is approved as amended.
Under old business, there is none. Under new business, the first item is formation of the Gulf States Gas District, and we have a resolution to authorize that district. And that is, we're forming this with our gas department and South Alabama Gas, and we will form a new gas district named Gulf States Gas District. And I ask the council to approve this resolution.
Make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
A motion by Councilman Cotton to approve resolution number 15-0824-8, seconded by Councilman Barton. Is there any discussion? Councilman Cotton.
Yes.
Councilman Watson.
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
The motion passes and resolution number 15-0824-8 is approved.
Item A1 is the appointment of 2 directors for a 1-year term, and I call on Councilman Barton.
May I make a recommendation to appoint 2 board members? The first one would be Mayor Yank Lovelace. The second one would be the Superintendent of Gas, Water, and Sewer, Mr. Ray Madden.
A second.
Motion by Councilman Barton to appoint Mayor Lovelace and Ray Madden as 2 board of directors on the newly formed Gulf States Gas District. Is there any discussion?
Yes. Did we let everyone know that it's a 1-year?
1-year term. Yes, it'll be a 1-year term. This is put forth as a motion by Councilman Barton and seconded by Councilman Watson. Any discussion or questions? Councilman Cotton.
Yes.
Councilman Watson.
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
The motion passes and these 2 appointments are approved.
The next item is the approval of the annual fiscal year 2016 city budget. This has been through the budget committee. It's been through council workshops with all the council members, and I recommend that we approve the 2016 budget as presented.
I make a motion to approve the budget.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Cotton to approve the budget in resolution form of number 15-0824, seconded by Councilman Barton. Is there any discussion?
I just have one question.
Okay.
The discussion we had on the fire department, is that included in that number?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay,
I had this slide prepared in the event.
good, thank you.
Any other discussion? Councilman Cotton.
Yes.
Councilman Watson.
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
Motion passes and resolution number 15-0824 is approved, and fiscal year budget 2016 is approved to commence on October the 1st.
I'm calling the city clerk for the next item.
Mayor and council, annually the city has entered into an agreement with the USGS to have a joint funding arrangement to put flood gauges on Murder Creek, Connector Creek, and Burnt Corn Creek. The cost is typically $44,000, $25,000 of that to be paid by the city of Brewton. Historically, out of our $25,000, we've only had to pay about half of that because Georgia Pacific will pay approximately $8,000 and the Escambia County Commission will pay approximately $5,000. This agreement is up for renewal, so I bring that to your attention this evening to see if in this resolution you would approve it to keep these flood gauges in effect.
I offer motion to approve resolution number 15-0824-1.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Watson to approve resolution number 15-0824-1, seconded by Councilman Barton. Is there any discussion? Councilman Cotton.
Yes.
Councilman Watson.
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
Motion passes and resolution number 15-0824-1 is approved.
And the next three items I'll call on Earl Hammond.
Yes, Mayor and Council, Earl Lambert, manage the airport for the city. I've got actually three items. Let me make sure which one we're starting with, engineering. We've got a grant that's been approved for the airport, and it's approved at the federal FAA level and the state. They're both participating in this. The first resolution that the clerk's got up is for the infield drainage work. We did we're going to do some rehab. We did investigation on the drainage system out there. They run optics and looked at over 8,000 feet of underground drainage. It's been there since right after World War II. Been quite a while, and it was in actually very good condition considering its age. But there were a few problems with it, and we've really got to maintain that drainage system because in effect what it does at the airport, it lowers the water table. Without that drainage system, that's you could say a swamp. And that's how they were able to build the airport. They just lowered the water table. So that drainage system has never been looked at. And so we got the federal and state money to look at it. And then the engineering firm, and that's what this is for, Barge Wagner, Sumner Cannon, they're our consulting engineers at this time for the airport work. They came up with the design both to look at it and how to repair it. And this resolution is to pay for that funding, and it's $22,879. And they also developed a bid package, and we have bid that job has been bid out. We're going to get to that in another resolution. This one is for the design to look at and all the way through bid package to bid this job. Steve, you want to take these maybe one
We need
vote
to
at a
take
time?
them one at a time. Yes, sir.
All right. I'll say this, and you're going to hear this 3 times, but this work is part of a grant. It's a 95-5. The federal's paying 90, the state is participating at 5%, and the city will pay 5. So that'd be out of this $22,800, that'll only cost the city a little over $1,000. Math's right. And I'd like, we need a vote. What we're asking for tonight is to approve this resolution that would enable the mayor, the clerk, and the city attorney to sign these contracts and get them moving. The grants have already been approved.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Cotton to approve resolution number 15-0824-2, seconded by Councilman Barton. Is there any discussion? Councilman Cotton.
Yes.
Councilman Watson.
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
The motion passes and resolution number 15-0824-2 is approved.
This is also engineering work. If you see, it's engineering design services for new partial parallel taxiway. And what that is, to explain it to you in some lay terms, back quite a number of years ago, the Navy came in to the airport and added 1,000 feet run of our runways. And we were very fortunate to get that work done. It's 1,000 feet to 150 feet wide, quite a project. Didn't cost the city anything. But what it left us with is a taxiway that comes down to what was the end of the runway. Say on this desk, if the taxiway came to here, that used to be where you took off and landed. But the Navy added another 1,000 feet. So to get to it, you were having to go down the runway and spin the airplane around a 180. And a lot of these jets and things are very heavy and very fragile. The landing gear, they didn't like turning them around. So what the state and the federal is promoting us to do through this grant is to do a design to take our taxiway and run it parallel to the runway, where we can go right back in and where you should take off and not have to turn around in the middle of the street. And this is just for design work for this 1,000 feet of taxiway, and it will follow up after the design. Then another grant will follow up for the construction at a later date. But we're going to have the engineering design ready for this project, and it's funded. It's already funded 95.5, and that's just the second resolution. And this is all coming out of this year's pool of grant money. All three of these. We got another one coming after this one.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Cotton to approve resolution number 15-0824-3, seconded by Councilman Watson. Is there any discussion? Councilman Cotton.
Yes.
Councilman Watson.
Yes.
Councilman Martin.
Yes.
The motion passes and resolution number 15-0824-3 is approved.
Okay, this resolution is to approve a contract to this R&B contracting, and that's the construction company that's been doing the work down in the sewer work down in the Alexander area. We bid this out, and he just he was the low bidder, and the engineering firm handled this, and he had an appropriate bid. There wasn't any deficiencies in his bid, and he was low. So they've awarded, pending execution of the contract, they've awarded him the project. This is the project to do all the repair work needed to the drainage system to get it back up to where we need it to be. And it was 199, 115. And what that is, we had almost $300,000 grant, and that falls under that same pool of 95.5 money. And the sum, just where you'll know, out of that $300,000 of benefit to the city of Brewton and the airport, the city will wind, their portion of that will be about $15,000, of which you have already got a prior resolution saying that we did have that money in place, and we do have it in the airport funds for our match. That won't have to come out of the general fund.
Council motion approves resolution number 150824-4.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Watson to approve resolution number 15-0824-4, seconded by Councilman Barton. And that would be to award the airport infield drainage repair project to R&B contracting company out of Andalusia. Is there any discussion? Councilman Cotton?
Yeah.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes, and resolution number 15-0824-4 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I appreciate y'all's support.
Thank you.
Mayor, we've received documents from ALDOT wanting us to go ahead and shore up our part of the agreement for some street resurfacing work to be done in conjunction with Alabama Department of Transportation. This particular A-Trip project is going to cover resurfacing on College Drive, Alco Drive, Smith Lane, Lyles Boulevard, Underwood Street, and Martin Luther King Drive. By executing this resolution, we can tie up our paperwork with ALDOT, and we can get everything ready to go when they're ready to go with it.
Underwood Street.
Need a motion for that. Steve?
Sir?
Motion?
Okay, thank you, Councilman Barton. Is there a second? Motion by Councilman Barton to approve resolution number 15-0824-5, seconded by Councilman Watson. Is there any discussion? Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
The motion passes, and resolution number 15-0824-5 is approved.
The next item is a resolution to apply to the Delta Regional Authority for a grant for $250,000 for a welding school to be located at the Fisher Center.
May I have a motion to approve resolution number 15-0824-6.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Watson to approve resolution number 15-0824-6, seconded by Councilman Barton. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Steve.
Yes.
Make sure everybody aware that we applied for the grant. That we ain't
That's
got
what I
the
said,
money.
yeah. Applying for this $250,000 grant.
Any other discussion? Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
The motion passes, and resolution number 15-0824-6 is approved.
The next item is a seismic permit for Nicholson Land Services, and I call him City Attorney Ed Hines.
Thank you, Mayor. Scalarco Exploration Company desires to hopefully someday drill for oil and gas around here. But before doing so, they're going to do a 3D seismic project. And as most of y'all are probably aware, that's where they'll come in, and there'll be very limited explosive charges are done, certainly not anything in the downtown area, but they'll be using thumper trucks where they do vibrations in the ground, and they have very sensitive monitoring. And hopefully they'll find oil and gas formations. Now, this Scalarco is contracted with Nicholson Land Services to do the permits and make sure everything gets organized properly. And I want to introduce the council to Mr. Todd Goebel, who's back there. He's the project manager for Nicholson, and he We've talked several times, and if y'all have any questions of him, he is certainly capable of answering any question you have. The actual geophysical, the actual testing itself will be done by an outfit called Dawson Geophysical Services. They will be actually operating the trucks and doing the monitoring and so on and so forth. These men we've talked numerous times. They've met with all the department heads. There were several conditions precedents with respect to bonding, insurance, obligations to video the streets before and after the work was done, getting with and trying to locate all the water mains, surveying, adhering to the terms of or provisions of the ordinance that there'll be no seismic work done within 75 feet of a building or 10 feet of a water main, so on and so forth. But they have substantially complied with that. They're ready to go, and they're here to get their permit, and I recommend that we go ahead and issue the permit, and hopefully they can find something around here between the creeks. So, like I say, Todd is very, very knowledgeable of the project, and he's here to answer any question or concerns you may have.
Offer a motion to approve.
Second.
A motion by Councilman Barton to grant this seismic permit, seconded by Councilman Cotton. Is there any discussion?
I would just like to say I appreciate the patience of your company and the work of Mr. Hines on this. It's been a lot longer than we thought, but it's taken a good while to check and come up with the wording on all this, and so I appreciate everybody's work on this that was involved.
I appreciate the city of Brewton working with us.
Is it feasible to give us a start and a stop time at this point?
Well, we've got surveyors that are actually working in the city limits now, trying to find our vibe location and our listening device location, so that process has already taken place. Recording, the actual recording, it could be 3 weeks to a month and a half from now, depending on how the process moves forward. We're actually starting about 7 miles north of Brewton, and that's where we'll start our recording, and then we will just basically roll through the city and throughout the city, and as we leave the city, we'll pick up our equipment. But getting started, we haven't started the recording process yet, and that's kind of the reason I can't give you an idea is they're actually doing the work that we need to do to record. It's kind of going slow, which is okay. But once we get started, I would think once we're in the city, it shouldn't take more of the vibe trucks themselves. Shouldn't be in Brewton and East Brewton more than a week and a half testing. I'm thinking just Brewton, maybe 3-4 days, and then of course East Brewton, same thing. And then the vibe trucks will move on down toward the airport, and then we'll continue our testing toward Jay, Florida.
Any ideas of how it's going to affect traffic?
We will have, we're using the police department as escorts. We will actually stop in one position for about a minute, and we'll have escorts in front and behind the vehicles. We'll have flagmen, so the flow of traffic will never stop. It'll be, stopped on one side for just a small amount of time where we can get the traffic to move back and forth. But the timing, we're going to try to do most of our work during the middle of the day, not during rush hour in the morning, and of course not rush hour in the evening. So we'll get our equipment out of the way, not to try to be a part of that traffic flow.
Okay.
The time for the policemen will be paid as part of the project.
That's right.
I mean, we're not supplying the police force. They're paying.
Yes, sir. We're actually contracted the off-duty officers.
Okay.
Councilman Cotton.
Yes.
Councilman Watson.
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
Motion passes, and the permit is so
Thank
granted.
you.
We passed a resolution previously to approve the city's cooperation and coordination with A-Trip to do some street resurfacing. Resolution number 15-0824-7 is to select DMD Engineers as the engineering firm that would provide the construction, engineering, and inspection services for this A-Trip project.
I make a motion to approve 15-0824-7.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Barton to approve resolution number 15-0824-7, seconded by Councilman Watson. Is there any discussion? Councilman Cotton.
Yes.
Councilman Watson.
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
The motion passes and resolution number 15-0824-7 is approved.
Are there any announcements?
Have one, maybe just to remind the council and the public that our next council meeting is a change of schedule. It's going to be on a Tuesday, September the 8th, same time in the council chambers.
Are there any comments?
No, sir.
Make a motion to
All right, I've got a couple comments. I received a letter today from the Alabama Department of Transportation of a notice to proceed on the resurfacing of Lovelace Lane, Old Castleberry Road, Tiger Drive, Douglas Lane, a portion of Belleville Avenue, and a portion of Sile Road. So that's one of the grants we applied for as part of these A-Trip grants, and they'll start paving that fairly soon. We're also making a press release tomorrow announcing a new long-term partnership with Jefferson Davis Community College in the city of Brewton that should prove mutually beneficial in economic development, workforce training, service learning, and quality of life improvements. So just look forward tomorrow to that announcement. That's all I have.
That's all I have too, sir.
Make a motion to adjourn.